I think the beauty of repeating your meals is, yes, it can be a little tedious, it can be a little boring, but ultimately, like it's going to get you to where you want to be. It's much easier to repeat the same set of meals over time and then tweak things as and when is needed, right? So, for example, I'll just kind of set a scene, right? If you have maybe, I don't know, 5 eggs and 3 slices of toast in the morning, right? If you are, let's actually say you're having that 3 times a day, right? 5 eggs. I'm not saying this is the case. I'm just making it easy. 5 eggs, 3 slices of toast. Okay. If maybe you were doing that for a month and you lost 2 kilos and then your weight stopped, right? We know, okay, something needs to change. And so now it's very easy to say, okay, in two of those meals, remove one of the slices of toast and then stick with that. And then you see another weight loss for another month, another sort of 2, 3 kilos. And then again, your weight plateaus. And now you can say, okay, let's remove the other one. So we've only got, one slice of toast in each, for example. And then it's easy to tweak and you continue progressing and everything like that. So I'm not saying obviously just eat one meal forever. I'm saying kind of have a series of meals for breakfast, maybe 2 or 3 that you can rotate and you repeat and you like, but you kind of know that it's high protein, lots of nutrition in it. Then maybe during the day, if you're someone at work who needs, just something convenient. Maybe a meal subscription could be good because they're pretty much calorie control. Or maybe you can order from one of these, more fitness diet type centers like Fit House or Fitness Empire Kitchen or Right Bite or one of these places where you can literally choose the amount of protein you're having, the carbohydrate you're having, and everything else in there. And then maybe in dinner, you try and look at something which is maybe a little bit more exciting, right? Because you've got more time in the evening to eat. It's kind of a nice unwind time. And then you can spend a little bit more time cooking, for example, or enjoying the sort of meal made for family. So this is really sort of just about eliminating the decision fatigue, having some structure and allowing you to really be able to like tweak and change as you go. So
Yeah.
again,
Pete, Sarah mentioned here that she says, I feel like I do not want to eat anymore when I repeat the same meals. And I thought I'd just touch on that real quick. Like, so in our house, what we did when we were kind of structuring our meals and so on and so forth is we would sort of create a menu for a week, right? And so that menu is something we have on rotation for 2 or 3 weeks. And we know that these are the meals we're having, same meals for 2 or 3 weeks. And then we rotate that again for 2 or 3 weeks. So, you don't necessarily have to have 2 or 3 options for breakfast for indefinitely for the rest of your life, 2 or 3 for lunch, 2 or 3 for
mm,
dinner. You can have these, for this month, this is what's happening. Next month, I'll rotate. Next month, I'll rotate. And that actually helps to keep it simple, but also repeating, but also not boring.
yeah, and also I think as well, like there's so much variation in terms of spices and seasonings and all this kind of stuff. So even if you're having chicken, right, there's a million and one different ways to prepare it. What you're pairing it with in terms of carbohydrate, in terms of vegetables, and so on. And so, there often requires a little bit of maybe creativity or research on your side to see what tastes good, what the cooking situation at home can manage. And then it's okay, great. You've got a series of go-to recipes that you can, as you say, Marvin, have a weekly plan that you can rotate, or you can just sort of pick and choose depending on, what's available in the fridge. But a lot of the time, like keeping things simple and having these like routines or structures or frameworks is going to really help you through this. Because if you are just going off of feel or, what do I want to eat now? Like it's going to be really difficult for you to see that consistent progress because there is so much variance in each of the meals, especially if you are ordering from outside and you have no idea how they're cooking it, right? I mean, just simply like, with if you order a salad and a chicken or something from whatever salad place there are, that the difference in amount of sauce they give you each time is crazy. So that can be another plus or minus 100 or 300 calories based on just what the server is giving to you. So this is really good for people who, maybe are super busy. They're going back to back, overthinkers, people who are like, I want to try this, I want to do that, and people who are sort of inconsistent in eating, right? We want to reduce the amount of decisions that someone needs to potentially make. And, just because it's routine, it doesn't mean it has to be boring, right? For example, sort of my breakfast each morning, yes, it's still protein, oats, and yogurt, but there's a lot of bit of variety in terms of like the flavor of protein, the fruits I use, the flavor of the yogurt, the granola I use, that sort of stuff, right? So it's actually it can be a really, really tasty thing. When, for example, I am at home and I just need something ASAP, I just order from around the corner at Fitness Empire Kitchen and I get 250 grams of chicken, 150 of rice, and I add my own vegetables. If I may be out and about in a particular area, and Abdullah will know this, Seven Ribs, really good place. Just pop in, grab a steak. They give you a couple of slices of bread if you need. And again, high quality, high protein meal. But then you're like, there's all these other sort of options that you can sort of create yourself to really sort of enjoy the taste, get high levels of protein in, and just have a kind of system and a framework. Because if you put in the hard work now of, okay, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to create a meal plan for a week of what I like and what's possible with my schedule, etc. You've done the hard work and now it's just doing it. And then you can see if it works for you and then you can change and you can adapt. Because I think, Marvin, you've had this quite a few times with different clients who have shared, meal plans that they've created. And how's the success of that been?
I mean, incredible, right? Because now you're no longer having to think about what to eat and going through that whole kind of, as Pete's mentioned, what should I eat? What do I feel like? You're getting rid of that decision making and the decision fatigue that you're going to feel. And we all know at the end of the day, you've had a hard day of work. You come home, his kid's screaming. The last thing you want to do is think about, what food to eat, right? You know what's there. You've created your meal plan. Perhaps you've got someone helping you with the meals, and the meal is already there, and there you go. All you have to do is eat.
Yeah, so I think, Sarah as well, it's about having the right kind of things available, right? Dark chocolate can be a really good thing just to give you that like little bit of sweetness, but no one's, I think, ever in the history of mankind demolished a whole dark chocolate bar.